Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 9, Chapter 19. We have been hearing the Yayāti Maharaj. He's telling his wife Devayani that he's enjoyed for so many years, and yet there's no satisfaction of the heart. Now he's telling her the story of the he goat and she goat. Actually, he's just telling her their own story, and that how material desires, the more you add fire to, the more you add fuel to a fire, the fire will never extinguish. So material desires are like that. The more we try to fulfill all these material desires, the more the desires come. Reading on. Yatustyaja durmatibhir
या दुष्टर दुर्मति फिर
jiryato yana jiryate
जीर्यतो या न जीर्यते
tam trishnam dukkha nivaham
तं तृष्णं दुःख निर्वहम्
sharma kamo drutam tyajet.
सर्म कामो धृतं त्यजेत्.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. For those who are too attached to material enjoyment, sense gratification is very difficult to give up. Even one is an invalid because of old age. One cannot give up such desires for sense gratification. Therefore, one who actually desires happiness must give up such unsatisfied desires, which are the cause of all tribulations. We have actually seen, especially in the Western countries, that men who have reached more than 80 years of age still go to nightclubs and pay heavy fees to drink wine and associate with women. Although such men are too old to enjoy anything, their desires have not ceased. Time deteriorates even the body itself, which is the medium for all sensual satisfaction. But even when a man becomes old and invalid, his desires are strong enough to dictate that he go here and there to satisfy the desires of his senses. Therefore, by the practice of bhakti yoga, one should give up his lusty desires. So Yati Maharaj is saying that because of too much desire to enjoy the world, even though the body is old and diseased, but those desires remain. And one is trying to fulfill these desires. But actually, one who really wants happiness, who wants real happiness, must give up all these unsatisfied desires. Because of all these material desires, we try to fulfill the desires, then we get distress. So Srila Prabhupada here is explaining Yamunacharya Yadavadi mama cheta Krishna padaravinde navanavarasadhamni udayatam rantumasit tadavadi patanari sangame smarayamane bhavati mukha vikara shushtu nishtivanam cha. When one is Krishna conscious, he gets more and more happiness by discharging duties for Krishna. Such a person spits on sense gratification, especially that of sexual enjoyment. An experienced advanced devotee is no longer interested in sex life. The strong desire for sex can be subdued only by advancement in Krishna consciousness. So Yamunacharya is saying that the more and more one engages in Krishna consciousness, one gets more and more happy, feels real happiness. We are thinking that our happiness is when we fulfill material desires, but real happiness is when we engage in devotional service. So, a strong desire for sex can be subdued only by advancement in Krishna consciousness. Matra swasra duhitra va
Matra Swahasradvitra Bhava
na vivikta asano bhavet
Naviviktasano Bhavet
balavan indriya gramo
Balavan Indriyo Gramo
vidvamsam api karshati.
Vidvamsam Api Karsati.
One should not allow oneself to sit on the same seat even with one's own mother, sister, or daughter, for the senses are so strong that even though one is very advanced in knowledge, he may be attracted by sex. Learning the etiquette of how to deal with women does not free one from sexual attraction. As specifically mentioned here, such attraction is possible even with one's mother, sister, or daughter. Generally, of course, one is not sexually attracted to his mother, sister, or daughter. But if one allows himself to sit very close to such a woman, one may be attracted. This is a psychological fact. It may be said that one is liable to be attracted if he is not very advanced in civilized life. However, as specifically mentioned here, Vidvamsam api karshati. Even if one is highly advanced, materially or spiritually, he may be attracted by lusty desires. The object of attraction may even be one's mother, sister, or daughter. Therefore, one should be extremely careful in dealings with women. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was most strict in such dealings, especially after he accepted the sannyas order. Indeed, no woman could come near him to offer him respect. Again, one is warned herewith that one should be extremely careful in dealings with women. A brahmachari is forbidden even to see the wife of his spiritual master if she happens to be young. The wife of the spiritual master may sometimes take some service from the disciple of her husband, as she would from a son. But if the wife of the spiritual master is young, a brahmachari is forbidden to render service to her. So the senses are so strong that even if one is materially or spiritually advanced, if one is too much in contact with the opposite sex, then here he's saying that's the senses are too strong. One may be having advanced in knowledge, but one may be attracted by sex if there's too much closeness. Is that okay? Then we'll go on.
Yeah.
Okay. Purnam Varsha Sahasram Me
Purnam Varsha Sahasram Me
Vishayan Sevato Sakrit
Vishaya Shevato Shakre
Tathapi Chanu Savanam
Tathapi Chanu Shavanam
Trishna Teshu Pajayate.
Krishna Teshu Pajayate.
I've spent a full 1000 years enjoying sense gratification, yet my desire to enjoy such pleasure increases daily. Maharaj Yayāti is explaining in terms of his actual experience how strong are sexual desires even in old age. So he's saying, 1000 years I've enjoyed and enjoyed, and my desire is not fulfilled. It's in fact increasing more and more. Every day it's increasing. Tasmad etam aham tyakva
Tasmatetam aham tyaktva
brahmani adhyaya manasam
brahmani adhyaya manasam
Nirdvandvo nirahankaras.
निर्द्वन्द्वो निरहङ्कारः
Charishyami mrige saha.
चरिष्यामि मृगेशः.
Therefore, I shall now give up all these desires and meditate upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead, free from the dualities of mental concoction and free from false prestige. I shall wander in the forest with the animals. To go to the forest and live there with the animals, meditating upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the only means by which to give up lusty desires. Unless one gives up such desires, one's mind cannot be freed from material contamination. Therefore, if one is at all interested in being freed from the bondage of repeated birth, death, old age, and disease, after a certain age, one must go to the forest. Panchashordhvam vanam rachet. After 50 years of age, one should voluntarily give up family life and go to the forest. The best forest is Vrindavan, where one need not live with the animals, but can associate with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who never leaves Vrindavan. Cultivating Krishna consciousness in Vrindavan is the best means of being liberated from material bondage, for in Vrindavan one can automatically meditate upon Krishna. So Maharaj Yayāti is saying, I've tried to enjoy, I've tried to fulfill all these desires, but my desires are increasing. I've enjoyed so much, and yet I have desire to enjoy. So now I want to give up everything and I'm going to the forest. I'm going to meditate on the Supreme Lord. So Srila Prabhupada is explaining the best forest is Vrindavan, where Krishna is always there. He never leaves Vrindavan. So if when one is able to, one can make the arrangements to go and live in Vrindavan. But it may not be possible for everyone to go live in Vrindavan. So then there is Krishna conscious temples in everywhere in the world. And we can take up some service in the temple. We can engage more and more time in hearing and chanting. So Vrindavan has many temples, and in one or more of these temples, one may see the form of the Supreme Lord as Radha Krishna or Krishna Balaram and meditate upon this form. Expressed here by the words Brahmani Adhyaya, one should concentrate one's mind upon the Supreme Lord Parabrahman. This Parabrahman is Krishna, as confirmed by Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita, Param Brahma, Param Dhamma, Pavitram Paramam Bhavan. So Yayāti Maharaj is saying he wants to go to the forest and meditate on Paramatma. Paramatma, Krishna is saying, I'm sorry, Arjuna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, you are this Paramatma. You are the Paramatma. So Krishna and his abode Vrindavan are not different. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Aradhyo Bhagavan Rajesha Tanayas Tadhama Vrindavanam. Vrindavan is as good as Krishna. So there is no difference between Krishna and his abode, Krishna and Vrindavan. There's no difference. Therefore, if one somehow or other gets the opportunity to live in Vrindavan, and if one is not a pretender, but, but simply lives in Vrindavan and concentrates his mind upon Krishna, one is liberated from material bondage. One's mind is not purified, however, even in Vrindavan, if one is agitated by lusty desires. So, one may be in Vrindavan, but yet one's mind may be very restless because there is too much desire still there. One should not live in Vrindavan and commit offenses, for a life of offenses in Vrindavan is no better than the lives of the monkeys and hogs there. Many monkeys and hogs live in Vrindavan, and they are concerned with their sexual desires. Men who have gone to Vrindavan but who still hanker for sex should immediately leave Vrindavan and stop their grievous offenses at the lotus feet of the Lord. There are many misguided men who live in Vrindavan to satisfy their sexual desires, but they are certainly no better than the monkeys and hogs. Those who are under the control of Maya and specifically under the control of lusty desires are called Maya Mrika. Indeed, everyone in the conditional stage of material life is a Maya Mrika. Maya Mrika. We are under the control of lusty desires, control of Maya. So it is said Maya Mrigam Dayate Yepshitam Anva Dhavat. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas to show his costless mercy to the Maya Mrigas, the people of this material world who suffer because of lusty desires. So we conditioned souls, we are Maya Mrigas. Too many lusty desires. We are troubled by these lusty desires. We are suffering because of it. So for our benefit, Lord Chaitanya took sannyas. One should follow the principles of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and always think of Krishna and full Krishna consciousness. Then one will be eligible to live in Vrindavan and his life will be successful. So Krishna came as Lord Chaitanya to deliver all of us in this age of Kali. He came to give us the Yuga Dharma of chanting the holy name. Lord Chaitanya is the most munificent incarnation of Krishna. He's called Mahavadanyaya. Srila Rupa Goswami says Lord Chaitanya is Mahavadanyaya because he's openly giving Krishna prema to anyone, everyone, without any qualification, without consideration of anything. We only need to take shelter of Lord Chaitanya, of Sri Sri Gaur-Nitai, chant the holy names, taking their shelter. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Going on. Drishtam Shrutam Asadbudva
Drishtam Shrutam Ashadbhutva
Manodhyayena Sandishet
Nano Dhyayena Nasandishe
Samsritim Chatma Nasham Cha
Samshritam Chatmanasham Cha
Tatra Vidvansa Atmadrek.
Tatra Vidvan Satmadri.
Who knows that material happiness, whether good or bad, in this life or in the next, on this planet or on the heavenly planets, is temporary and useless, and that an intelligent person should not try to enjoy or even think of such things, is the knower of the self. Such a self realized person knows quite well that material happiness is the very cause of continued material existence and forgetfulness of one's own constitutional position. The living entity is a spiritual soul, and the material body is his engagement. This is the beginning of spiritual understanding. So, beginning of spiritual understanding to understand I am the soul, I am not this body, I am encaged inside the body. The body is called a cage. You know how the bird is trapped in the cage, and the bird cannot get out of the cage by his own free will. It's only when somebody opens the door, then he can get out. So, in this material body, this is the beginning of spiritual understanding. Dehinosmi yatha dehe kaumaram yavanam jara tatha dehantar prapte dhiras tatra namuyati. As the embodied soul continually passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. The self-realized soul is not bewildered by such a change. Bhagavad Gita 2.13. So Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita that we are not the body, we are the soul. And then the soul is passing from one body to another. You can see that even while we are in the same body, the body keeps changing, but the soul doesn't. When we were very small, we had a child body, then we grew up. First you have infant body, then child body, teenage body. Where are all those bodies gone? But we, the soul, are the same. Similarly, at death, we have to give up this body and take up another body. So those who are self-realized, they understand this. The real mission of human life is to get free from engagement in the material body. So that is why we have been given this human body, to understand how to not take any more material bodies. Therefore, Krishna descends to teach the conditioned soul about spiritual realization and how to become free from material bondage. So we are thinking this body is given to me so I can uh, use the senses in whatever way I want. This is my body. This body is for my sense gratification. Everything around me that I see is for my enjoyment. But actually, we have this human body for self realization, that how we can make this life our last life. And the next body that we take is a spiritual body, not a material body. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. The words dharmasya glani mean pollution of one's existence. Our existence is now polluted and it must be purified. Sattvam shuddhayet. The human life is meant for this purification, not for thinking of happiness in terms of the external body, which is the cause of material bondage. Therefore, in this verse, Maharaj Yayāti advises that whatever material happiness we see and whatever is promised for enjoyment is all merely flickering and temporary. So Yayati Maharaj, he's enjoyed. Thousands of years he has enjoyed, but he's saying it's also temporary, flickering and temporary. Abrahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravartino Arjuna. Even if one is promoted to Brahmalok, if one is not freed from material bondage, one must return to this planet Earth and continue in the miserable condition of material existence. Bhutva bhutva praliyate. So, right from the hellish planets to the heavenly planets, there is misery happening in this material world. One may think, I will go to the heavens, I will be happy. No, even in the heavens there is death. We see how the demigods, they get anxious that the demons are going to take away their kingdom. So one should always keep this understanding in mind so as not to be allured by any kind of sense enjoyment in this life or in the next. One who is fully aware of this truth is self-realized, sa atmadrik. But aside from him, everyone suffers in the cycle of birth and death. Mrityu samsara vartmani. So the one, the self-realized soul, he understands that uh, that sense enjoyment is futile, and that's why he stops engaging in sense enjoyment. So, other than the self realized soul, all of us are suffering because of this desire for enjoying this material world, desire for sense enjoyment. This understanding is one of true intelligence, and anything contrary to this is but a cause of unhappiness. Krishna Bhakta Nishkam Ateva Shanta. Only a Krishna conscious person who knows the aim and object of life is peaceful. All others, whether karmis, jnanis, or yogis, are restless and cannot enjoy real peace. So, Krishna conscious person, he is truly happy. We are all looking for happiness, but we are thinking we are going to find happiness in sense enjoyment. But actually, real happiness is engaging in devotional service. The more we hear and more we chant, the more happy we'll feel, more peaceful we will feel. Whereas we are thinking, oh, the more I fulfill my material desires, the more I get more and more things in the material world, I will be more happy. But in fact, we can see it works the opposite. It's contrary to it. The more we try to enjoy the material world, the more we try to possess, the more misery it brings, the more restlessness it brings. So, real peace is in engaging in devotional service, hearing, chanting, worshipping Krishna, remembering Krishna. This is what Yayāti Maharaj is explaining here by his own personal experience. Any comments, question?
I think it's all clear.
Okay. Yeah. So Yayāti Maharaj is saying, I enjoyed and I enjoyed and enjoyed. I'm still not yet happy, you know. I've had the best of the enjoyment, and yet I'm not happy. In fact, my desires are increasing more and more and more and more. But that's not the purpose of human life. The real happiness is only in connection with God. So he's realizing that now. Saying, if I don't stop now, then I will have to take up another material body.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to do that. So he's saying, let me stop now at least what time I have left. Okay. So that's why we're all encouraged to hear and chant, revive our loving relationship with Krishna, and go back home, back to Godhead. Stop here.
Yeah.
Okay, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila
Yeah.
Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur
Yeah.
Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Hare
Yeah.
Krishna.